Hi Cheerios, my name is Cheritaisrandom. I'm the most positive person you'll ever meet. I guarantee it.
And it's bubbly, 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 bubbly. We are singing to our love.
Today I'm going to be talking about pro athletic all-stars and GI pros and their protests that they did a couple weeks ago. I know I'm a little late talking about it, but I really wanted all of the hoopla to die down, kind of to make a point, but I do want to talk about everything that happened and how I feel about it and so on and so forth. If you guys are interested in this video, go ahead and keep watching. Before I get started, make sure you guys become part of the Cheerio squad by clicking the subscribe button for new content almost every Tuesday and Friday. And also do not forget to link up with me on my social media. All of that information will be down below in the description box. So let's get started. If you guys are unfamiliar with Pro Athletics All-Stars and GI Pros and what happened, GI Pros is their small co-ed level 5 team, and they went to a competition a couple weeks ago. And on day 2, they went out on the floor and they marked their entire routine. If you don't know what marking means, that means they did their routine without any skills. I believe they threw like one basket toss and that's it. But they did it as a statement. It was very awkward and weird at first because nobody knew what was going on. But the more and more people started talking about it, the more they understood that it was a protest about varsity and USASF and scoring and all that other stuff. Now, there are people that are on two sides. You have your people that are like, that was amazing, good for you, stand up for what you believe in. And then there's the other people that are like, stop being crybabies. You got the scores that the judges think that you deserved. Deal with it. This protest was a bad idea. Stop being crybabies and blah, blah, blah. I am looking at it from a point of view from different points of views. It's getting on my nerves. While I understand why Jason, that's the owner, and the coach for GI Pros, why I understand what he did, I don't think it's going to make a huge impact on, I don't want to use the phrase broken, but it is a system where a lot of people complain, but then don't do anything about it. I do think he did it to get people talking about it, because for about a week, people were talking about it, but now we're on to something completely different. Like, I haven't heard people really talking about it in the spotlight for, you know, since after it happened. I mean, people talked about it for a week, maybe like 4 or 5 days at most, and then it kind of just went silent. And while, yes, within those 4 or 5 days, there were a lot of good conversations that need to be had, this isn't something new. Jason did put out a statement saying why he did what he did, and it had nothing to do with judges. So I want people to stop saying, well, the judges are wrong, the judges are this, the judges are that. It's not the judges, it's a scoring system. The judges are judging correctly, but because of how the scoring system is, scores aren't always 100% consistent. Jason was upset because his score, or he went from being behind from 0.2 to 1.2, and nobody could give him a reason or justify as to why his score went down by an entire point. Now, I've talked about comparative scoring before, and the way that the ranges work is that there's a 0.5 difference between the ranges. So you can score between a 3.0 and a 3.5, or a 3.5 to 4.0, or 4.0, you guys get it, to a 4.5. So depending on the competition, depending on who starts the competition, determines if your score is going to be higher or lower. Because say there's 30 teams in one division, and one team comes out and completely blows it out of the water, like they put on this perfect routine, a judge can't really give them a perfect score. So if a team goes on first and they have 29 other competitors in their division, and they go out and they hit a picture-perfect routine, a judge is probably not going to give them a 5 or a perfect score. Like, say we're talking about tumbling, and they do everything that's required. They're probably not going to give them a score of a perfect 5, because there needs to be room for another team that may do better than that one team. So if they get into a range between a 4.5 and a 5, Maybe they'll give them a 4.9 just in case another team may come out and do better than them so that they can give them a 5. And that's probably an issue with the scoring system. So basically, geez Louise. So basically the reason why Jason did what he did was because he's frustrated with the system, not because he's mad at any judges or whatever. I'm going to read you one part of his statement. And he said, lastly, scoring across the board has reached a crisis due to the system. Coaches have pleaded for a more objective system for years, and those requests have fallen on deaf ears. We need the powers that be to listen to our real concerns and work with us to create an objective scoring system that we all can believe in. And like I've said, he's not the first person to complain about this, and he definitely won't be the last. So while I don't 100% believe, and if it does, I'm super excited, but I don't 100% believe that this alone is going to change what's being talked about at varsity or USASF or the people that deal with the scoring system because of the reasons of what he said. People from big name gyms have said things like this for years, and it still has not been fixed because we keep going to cheer competitions. All we do is we complain about it, but we don't do anything about it. And while, yes, Jason did take a stand and he did protest, he did create conversation, which is amazing, but I still don't think he really did anything to really hurt varsity or USASF. So in my opinion, this is what I think should be done, not just by Jason, because like I said, what he did made for conversation. That's why I'm making this video. He did something. He created something. And so when people say, well, nothing happened, well, something happened. A conversation has happened. So it's not nothing has happened. But I don't think what we want or what Jason wants or what anybody else wants is going to come forth because of what he did. But who knows if that's what he wanted to happen. I don't know. Who could know? So in my personal opinion, I think if somebody really wanted to make a statement, I think somebody would boycott an entire event. And I'm not just talking one team. I'm talking grab a bunch of gym owners to say, hey, if we all boycott NCA, which is a huge moneymaker for varsity, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they would listen then? GI pros, they already paid to get into the competition. Their parents paid to get into the competition. Their registration fees were paid. So I don't think it really hit them where it hurt, which is their pockets. So that's why I suggest if somebody wanted to make like a huge statement, boycott an entire competition. See if that works. And another thing is I think skills should have point values. Now let me explain. If you watch one of my last videos, which was a score sheet breakdown, you'll understand that in order to get into a high range of, and I did tumbling, so I'll stick with tumbling. Say in order to get into the high range of tumbling, you have to do specific skills. Let's go level 3. So running tumbling difficulty. In order to score a 4.5 to a 5, most of the team performs a level appropriate pass. And what is a level appropriate pass? What is a level appropriate pass for level 3? So for running tumbling, aerials, punch fronts, round off tucks, round off back handspring back tuck, round off back handspring series to back tuck, front walkover, round off back handspring back tuck, front walkover to round off back handspring series back tuck. So basically what they're saying is if most of the team does punch fronts and that's it, for their running, tumbling, all they do is they run, they do a punch front. Most of the team did a level appropriate pass, which is a punch front. So they can score between that 4.5 and a 5. They can score a 4.5, they can score a 4.6, 7, 8, 9, they can score a 5.0 based on what the score sheet, the scoring system says. They can score a 5 with squad punch fronts. Now say another team comes out and they do punch fronts and they also do round up back handspring back tucks and they also do front walkover to round up back handspring series. I think each skill should be labeled as a point. So say the only thing that this team did were punch fronts. Punch front should be a 4.5. And front walkover to round up back handspring series back tuck, that should be a 5.0. So then that way scores will be more consistent. So you know if you do punch fronts and that's it. You're not going to score a 5. So if you score a 5 at one competition because you can based on the scoring system, you go to another competition and you score a 4.5 based on the scoring system, that's a whole half a point. So if each skill had a point value, scores can't be that inconsistent to where you're scoring 96s at one competition and 98s at other competitions. Hopefully that made sense. So basically, in my opinion, I don't by any means think what Jason did was terrible. I don't like to downplay people's feelings. If he felt that's what he needed to do and he didn't harm anybody, then more power to him. But on the other hand, there are people that are saying it was a waste of time, but maybe he feels that going to these competitions where scores are not consistent is a waste of his time. I mean, you just have to look at it from every angle, and that's kind of the direction that I went into it. And like I said, I don't think what he did in particular is going to make a huge change, but it is a conversation starter, and I gave my 2 cents on how I think if somebody really wanted to make a change, that's how they could do it. That is my video for today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. And also do not forget to share this video. We are on the road to 5,000 subscribers by the Worlds that I will be attending, and it is Worlds Month, you guys. It is Worlds Month. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a positive and love-filled day. Bye.